but a flag's on the field. The ball's loose, and it's going back the other way. It was picked up, and it's taken in by DJ Hardy. Game over. Northside calls it.
Live from Orlando, Florida, you're listening to The Sports Scene with Jesse O.
Oh, slap the bag and call me Matthew. Yep, it's me, Jesse O. Welcome, everyone, to The Sports Scene on iHeartRadio, iHeartRadio Podcast, and YouTube, presented by First Bet and Sports Fluent Media. So sorry we've been gone for a while. I know it's kind of been on and off every couple of weeks, but that's just because schools have started back up again, which means my schedule is hectic, and I'm calling a lot of games, so it's been hard to find time to fit in the sports scene somewhere in here. But I'm doing it this week. I'm hopeful to do it next week and the week after that and the week after that. Got some pretty exciting news coming up. I guess I can share that with Coach Mo pretty soon here. But, you know, we got some good things going on in our lives, so we want to share everything that's going on with you all at some point. But just thought I'd pop in and we'd have a quick episode this week because we really hadn't talked about Olympic basketball. And obviously, you know, Coach and I tooted it up a lot. So figured it was about time for us to do an episode on some basketball. And this one's a special. So we'll be coming to you with limited commercial breaks, which, you know, is a first for us. But, you know, some things are going to be kind of rotating around here, the sports scene and, you know, in other areas. All good things, obviously. So very excited about everything. But my guest, obviously, the one and only Coach Paul McKeskey, former NBA player and coach for the Milwaukee Bucks, for the Dallas Mavericks, and overseas. So we got a lot going on for you all in this episode. So we hope you enjoy our special that we recorded just earlier this week to talk about the USA men's and women's Olympic victories over the host team, France. Yeah, if you're watching this video, you all know I'm smiling. We beat France. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that one. Please enjoy our Olympic basketball special. Well, we're back here on the sports scene, and we are joined, ladies and gentlemen, by one of my favorite guests of the show. He is a former NBA player and former NBA coach, and the all-around smart man when it comes to the basketball world, our resident big man, Mr. Coach Paul McKeskey. Joining the sports scene once again. What's up, Coach? How we feeling?
I'm
you
doing
well?
Good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm great. How's the foot, by the way?
Coming along. Stitches out. Back in the
Nice.
hot tub. Things are good.
How's the McKeskey Beach Club these days?
It's finally it's getting below 100 here in Vegas, so the pool and the surroundings are doing well and ready for action.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, maybe I have to come visit. We'll
Come
throw a
on
party.
out. Yeah, we'll open. No, I don't know about a party, but when you
Okay.
and I get together, it is a party. So
That's true. That is extremely true. Okay, Coach, should we talk some basketball? I guess we haven't talked basketball, in a month and a half?
yeah, it's been a while.
2 months? When did the Olympics end? Last month? A month?
Either
Dang.
a month ago or a year ago. One of those.
It's somewhere in between. Okay, so let's start off with the women's side because Team USA women's basketball won their 8th straight gold medal with a hard-fought 67-66 win over France on Sunday. With a gold medal in Paris, the USA women's national team claimed the longest Olympic gold medal streak in a traditional team sport, passing the USA men's basketball team, who won 7 straight golds from 1936 to 1968. It was a back-and-forth affair, but the Americans were able to claim gold thanks to a balanced effort from both the starters and the reserves. So A'ja Wilson led her team with 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks, and Kahleah Copper came up huge off the bench with 12 points. She scored 10 in the fourth quarter to help them secure their victory. I remember watching this game, and it was literally just a back and forth between A'ja Wilson and Kahleah Copper. By the way, A'ja Wilson just broke the single season point total scored in a single season in WNBA history. As we're recording this last night, they still have 4 more games to go. She has a real possibility to get to 1,000 points in a single season in the WNBA for the first time ever. She's already got the most points ever in a single season, but now she's going for 1,000 points in a WNBA season, which has never been done before by anybody. Nobody has ever scored more points than her in the WNBA now in a single season, and she might actually blow that margin to smithereens, Coach.
Yeah, and with Asia, and I get to see. I haven't been to a game in person, but it's covered all everywhere because she's a Las Vegas Aces. So they've won back-to-back championships. And the thing about Asia, though, is she scores a lot of points, but she also gets a lot of rebounds and gets a lot of assists and gets a lot of steals. And she does everything, and she's she's got unbelievable pull-up game from the elbow. It's automatic. She's tough. She's competitive, and she's still pretty young too. So a lot of records she'll probably be able to break. But talking about the Olympics, Jesse, I'm trying to think if ever there was another Olympics where besides the USA men and the USA women, was there ever another Olympics where one country was playing for the gold in men's basketball and women's basketball like France was this year? I don't think I could. And that it's amazing. Basketball in France is just exploded, where actually, the number one pick last year, Wembanyama, French.
Yep.
2 of the top 3 picks this year.
Alex Sarr, French.
French. I mean, it's really interesting. It used to be like Croatia and Split, where the NBA guys coming in the NBA Euros were coming from those areas, which are relatively small areas. And now, France isn't a huge country, but all this basketball talent is coming out of there. And I can't remember her name. The star of the French team, one of the young stars. She's actually went to high school in Reno, Nevada, and then went to UConn. But she's a great talent too. So, the women are, held their own, but just like the men, other countries are catching up. And when you watch that game, Jesse, there's like a point at the 2 or 3 minute mark where an out of bounds call went to USA, a foul call went to USA, and then a bounce of the basketball bouncing on the rim a few times went in for the USA. You take those away, and the game of basketball is fleeting like that. And you take those 2 or 3 instances right at the end of the game, and France has a gold medal.
And also big kudos to Gabby Williams, who hit that last shot in the Olympics to literally, instead of tie the game, foot was on the line, reminiscent of the KD against the Milwaukee Bucks game.
Yeah.
Her foot was on the line, and she chucked up the last second shot, made it, but it was a 2.
That's who I was talking about. Gabby went to high school in Reno. And then
really?
She went to high school in Reno. They won the state title, of course. But yeah, you look at, by some fluke, and that's why you keep playing till the whistle goes.
Yep.
Because if she's like 5 inches behind, they're going into overtime, right? And you never want that. So, it was a really good game.
Gabby really put the team on her back too, and she earned herself a WNBA contract after that. She signed with the Seattle Storm, which is kind of cool, obviously. After the WNBA season ends, she'll be back in Europe.
How could she have not had one?
That's true. I mean, it's crazy, right? But she was playing in France last year, I think, for Lyon.
I'm wondering if Gabby was not playing in the WNBA by choice or not. Because
she's definitely making more money overseas.
Yeah, but it's different season. So most of them do both. So,
but a lot of WNBA players are now getting in the upwards of $200,000, which is more than you. And those are the best players. They're the ones who are making upwards of $200,000. They're making more than they would in an 8th-month season overseas.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. So Gabby might have said, "Hey, I'm making good money in France, and I don't need to play in the WNBA for $80,000 or $100,000. I'm gonna rest." That could have been a decision too, because it's obvious talent-wise she should be playing in the WNBA.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. So. The WNBA, obviously, back in session now. Coach, you and I can, in the next couple of weeks, break down what we're seeing in the WNBA, but this is kind of more our Olympic recap, so we got to refocus, all right? Back to the Olympics here, and congratulations also to, 8 straight gold medals for the women. That's incredible. Diana Taurasi gets her Olympic leading 6th gold medal. I didn't even know she had 6 gold medals until this point in time, but that is incredible, fantastic career for Taurasi. I don't know if she'll make the next Olympics.
She won't.
I'm not going to lie.
There's a question mark of her being on this team.
Yeah.
Instead of the young lady from the Indiana Fever being on the team. And that was a big question mark. And people were saying she doesn't deserve to be on the team. Taurasi is what I'm talking about. But when I looked at, she's still averaging like 17 points a game and like 6 rebounds in the WNBA. So she's not, she's not a stiff by any. I mean, she's a very good player and got her medal. So I think that was uncalled for that question. Should she be on the Olympic team this year? I don't. I
mean, but she did. I mean, Caitlin Clark is having one heck of a rookie season, Coach.
Yeah, for sure. But Caitlin Clark 2 months ago isn't the Caitlin Clark of now. I mean, she was having a great
season. She really enjoyed that rest time, let me just say.
Yeah, but she was scoring 35, then 12, then 28, then 14. So she was up and down like rookies do. Now she's not up and down anymore. But at the time the Olympic team was decided, it was different. I mean, if they picked the Olympic team right now, I think she would be on it because of the way she's performing consistently.
Okay. So I'll come back to that actually later. We're gonna do one of our little games at the end of this. I'll come back to that.
I'm scared.
I'll come back to that. All right. Let's go into the men's side, Coach. So we had Team USA play. They played in Las Vegas, and then went to Abu Dhabi, and then they go into London. Those were their friendlies, and then they got to play in France. So they played Serbia to start off, South Sudan, Puerto Rico, Brazil, and then they go into the semifinals. And so they beat Brazil in the quarterfinals. They pretty much just smashed everyone up until this point by at least, somewhere around 20 points. Then you have the game against Serbia. And everyone on earth was waiting for the Steph Curry game. And it could not have come at a better time for the USA basketball men's national team at the 2024 Paris Olympics, because he scored 17 of his 36 points in the first quarter, then 9 in the fourth, as the Americans erased a 13-point deficit with a dramatic fourth quarter to overcome Serbia 95-91 in the Olympic semis at Bensi Arena in Paris. And the comeback from 17 points down in the second quarter kept alive a drive for 5 consecutive gold medals, something this star-studded team was able to accomplish against France in the next game. We'll get to that in just a sec, but it was absolutely insane. Joel Embiid had 19 points, including 7 straight in the fourth quarter. He was actually a big reason why USA won that game against Serbia. And obviously, LeBron James had a rare Olympic triple-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. It was unbelievable.
So here's some points for you that people out there that don't understand international play and international pool play and international medals and Olympics and World Cup. Here's the deal.
Update me.
Yeah. So USA in the pool round beat Serbia by 26 points.
Yes.
There's a reason for that. Serbia wasn't playing. They were playing halfway. They weren't playing all their guys. And because they knew that game didn't matter. They wanted to get to the medal round, and then it really mattered. And that's what happens in international play all the time. Pool play, well, we beat that team by 25, so we're playing them in the medal rounds. No, that's not necessarily true. A lot of strategy goes on in that pool play and point differential. But and thank goodness for Steph Curry. But he was horrible for most of the Olympics. Terrible. He shot 16% from the three till those last 2 games. So he was struggling mightily. But credit to him, and of course the coaching staff, who gets no credit, that they stuck with him. He knew, eventually I'm going to start knocking these down. So did the coaching staff. So did Steve Kerr. And guess what happened? He turned into Steph Curry and started knocking down threes. And it was Curry, LeBron had a triple-double, but Embiid were the reasons they won that game. And they could have lost that game very, very easily and been playing for the bronze against Canada. Easily. Because they got some breaks at the end and Steph went off. But Embiid is a big body and can play against the Joker. That's why I keep saying teams in the NBA like the Warriors, you need to get some big bodies if you're going to play guys like the Joker, or you have no chance. Bam Adebayo, AD, those guys can't guard the Joker consistently. They get worn down physically because the Joker's so big, and Embiid has that size. And there's all this controversy of he wasn't playing well, and he didn't start a game and all this stuff, and he came through exactly when they needed him to against Serbia, against the Joker. It was huge, but we Americans, we got to wake up, man. That Serbian game, France gave them a good game and a gold medal, and Curry went off again, and
which we'll get to.
Yeah, but that Serbian game, Serbia was up 17.
Bogdanovic was also hitting every three humanly possible in that game.
Yeah. So, and they have 2 7-footers that play high level Europe that are really good players. They have another player that's on Oklahoma City. They have good basketball players. Here's the thing, though. In international basketball, games are shorter.
Yeah.
It's 8 minutes shorter. It's only a 40-minute game. So you get down by 17, and against a team like Serbia that has the Joker on it, no way you come back from that game. No way. But they did. And that was the game that could have really put a dent in USA basketball. It was that close, but they fought through. They stuck with their game plan, and big-time players stepped up big time. But people you need to see out there, man, that game, I guarantee basketball experts around the world that know international basketball, when Serbia went up 17, no way they're losing that game, because they have experienced guards that you can't take the ball away from. They have Bogdanovic who can shoot the crap out of the three. They got the Joker. So, you're going to slow the ball down, execute, but USA picked up their defensive pressure, and that's where a guy like Booker steps in. And all these guys, I watched him. He was hounding the best players, the best guards on the other teams, and physically he wasn't intimidated, because a lot of times USA guards, especially because guard play in international basketball is very physical. You can hand check, you can bump, you can grab, and usually USA guards get frustrated. Booker went right at him. He's got that attitude, and he was a huge part of that game and the whole Olympic experience.
I liked how you used to mention Booker there. He was one of my favorite players to watch in this Olympics, and I understand why they brought him. Unselfish, averaged those 10.5 points a game, which is really what USA needed. Played hard-nosed defense up front. He was kind of like the unsung MVP, I think, of this team. And actually, let's talk about the final now, because the 2024 USA basketball men's national team made sure to continue a tradition that started in 1936, which is winning the Olympic gold medal. Behind a flurry of Steph Curry 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, the U.S. staved off France 98-87, both in the women's and men's side. That just makes me so happy to win the men's basketball 5th straight Olympic gold medal in front of a really ruckus crowd over in France. But it was the 17th gold medal in 20 Olympics the Americans have participated in. The 5 consecutive golds is the second longest streak for the men, to the U.S. winning the first 7 Olympic competitions. And Curry finished with 24 points on 8 3-pointers and had 5 assists. Obviously, the signature last 3 shots. He comes back in, hits a 3, tells everyone to calm down. He points to the floor, calm down, everyone. Hits the second 3, looks at the crowd, says, "Don't worry about me. Don't you worry about me." By the way, Steph Curry has to be one of the, I love the night too. I'll get to that in a second. Steph Curry has to be one of the greatest trash talkers of all time. For me, it's like him and Larry Bird. Like the amount of trash talk that Steph Curry has done over his career and then has been able to back it up. And then once he's backing it up, then he starts talking even more. And then he wins, is just unbelievable to me. And he just destroyed an entire country. But that's beside the point. So then he hits the final 3 and hits the night. Everyone on the bench and everyone is hitting the night, except for Jason Tatum, obviously, because, Steph hit him with that in the 2022 finals. So obviously he was the only one on the squad not hitting the night. Kevin Durant, the all-time leading men's or women's scorer in U.S. Olympic basketball history, started his only game of this Olympiad and had 15 points in that game against France. 4 rebounds and 4 assists, while obviously the ageless LeBron James, the NBA's career scoring leader and U.S. Olympic assist leader, added 14 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds. Also, Devin Booker had 15 points and 6 rebounds. Anthony Davis had 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocked shots for the U.S. And obviously, Team USA goes 6-0 at the Paris Olympics, and they've won 11 straight at the Summer Games. The U.S. is 144-5 in Olympic history. And obviously, one thing I do want to mention now is that with everything going on in the world, I really thought that this was the one thing that was so beautiful because it united an entire country. I was reading on Twitter people mentioning that, this is what it feels like to root for Steph Curry. I can fly right now. I know I can fly. I can jump off my balcony. I can fly. And, all these things I was reading everywhere. It's like, this is what it's like rooting for this guy. And we finally got the age-old question. If LeBron, Steph, and KD are on the same team to win a championship, who's going to take the final shot?
Doesn't
Steph
matter.
Curry.
Yeah,
Steph Curry.
Steph
Curry. Steph Curry looked off LeBron James and Kevin Durant, who were wide open on the wing and in the corner, coach.
Uh-huh.
And he took a 3, double-teamed.
Triple-teamed almost.
Yeah, almost triple-teamed. Makes that final shot. Only one person of all time has the audacity to attempt that shot, but only one person all time can make that shot. And for that reason, that's why I love Steph Curry. Your thoughts now.
Okay, get off your Warriors wagon, please.
God. No, I will never. I will never. Steph Curry has won me 4 championships in my lifetime, Coach.
And if you're going to be on the Warriors wagon like you
yes.
are, then get on the Steve Kerr wagon then.
I was always on the Steve Kerr wagon. Wait. Save that for the final segment. We're going to talk about that in the final segment. Save that. Save the Steve Kerr criticisms, everything. We're saving it for the final segment. Your other thoughts.
Well, I think, first of all, at the end, when he didn't pass to LeBron or KD, who were wide open, at that point, that was the dagger. That wasn't the game. That wasn't the game winner. That was the dagger. So it wasn't as much pressure as okay, we're going to win or lose on this. Like some shots that Bird has had, Kobe Bryant has had, Magic Johnson has had, Michael Jordan has had. But he's phenomenal. I mean, I've seen Steph for years. I saw him at Davidson. I was in Charlotte coaching the Bobcats. He was at Davidson. His dad, Dell, was on our staff. I went to his practices. His coach semi-recruited our youngest 7-foot son for a little bit. So we talked to, we saw him. Steph was in our practice facility. And everybody was whining about how small he is and how slight he is and how's he going to do this in the NBA. Well, I mean, he's just another world talent there's players out there that can make shots. And then there's players out there that can make hard shots. Then there's players out there that make impossible shots. And he's one of the rare guys that can make impossible shots. And, right at the right time. And, but let's wake up, America. Wake up. Because everybody is catching up. 2028 Olympics right here in LA, in our country. We're going to struggle to get a medal because all the other countries are catching up. Serbia, France, Canada, Germany, Greece, just to name a few. And Luka wasn't even in the Olympics this year because they didn't make it to the Olympics, but he'll be around in 2028. But just the competition level in basketball around the world is getting crazy. As we know, the last 5 MVPs of the NBA have not been Americans. They've been European players. Has been Embiid and Giannis and the Joker, obviously. And when you look at the top list of the top 20 to 30 players in the NBA, half of them are not American anymore. So that's how much it's been. The rest of the world's caught up, which the original Dream Team started that whole phenomenon, and now it's coming to where we thought it would be eventually. I don't know, what is that, 25, 30 years later? I don't even know what that is, but the Olympics are it's exciting, but there's those NBA guys, you've won championships and played in 7-game series and 7 games, I guess in Game 7, and but having USA on your jersey and playing for a gold medal, and we forget about this phenomenon, Wembanyama of France. He is what Steph is to shooting and scoring. Wemby is to basketball. He does everything: block shots, rebounds, shoots threes, post moves. That's the guy that I'm looking for at 7'6", whatever he is, for the next 10, 15 years. Is going to be amazing.
I mean, how did the world get this good at almost an American-made game?
Well, I mean, years ago, it was the NBA, and then it was all these other, leagues in France and Spain and Serbia and Russia and wherever, but, they were very isolated. So they're isolated in skill development, they're isolated in coaching, they're isolated in the game. And then when the Dream Team in 92, I think it was, came over and exposed everybody more to the NBA, that was the start of getting younger players, not in America, interested in the game of basketball. Not soccer, but basketball. Not tennis, but basketball. And that's where it started. But then the media, where now you can see games on the internet, you can see games on YouTube, you can go watch highlights. So that, that's like kids playing video games. So they start watching that and say, I want to do that. And then the training process overseas is totally different. And here in America, it's very flawed. Our junior basketball development is so flawed, it's a shame, because everybody's trying to get college scholarships, now NIL money, and NBA. So they're trying to play as many AAU games as they can in the summer, 50, 60 games. They're not training. They're not getting better at, the stuff. The summer should be, you work on, if you have no left hand, you work on your left hand. If you have no jump shot, you work on your jump shot. If you got to work on your quickness to get to the rim, all those things, your weaknesses, that's what you work on in the off season. So the next year, you're a better all around player. Well, players don't usually do that anymore at the younger level. I need to play games. I need to have the ball in my hand, and I need to get exposure, and I need to be a highlight video. That's what they're not developing their game. Overseas, they're playing limited games in the summer, and they're practicing and developing their game, and it's really caught up with us. And it's a perfect storm where exposure to the game, development of the game, mentality of United States basketball at the youth level, it's all coming together where they've caught up, and it's obvious. I mean, look at the talent level, look at all the players. In 92, here you go, Jesse. Here's a stat for you. In the Dream Team year, there were only 5 other NBA players on rosters of other countries' teams. This year, there was over 60 players, NBA players, on rosters of other countries. Canada had almost a whole team of NBA players. And so here's the other thing that comes into play is back in the day, when Serbia or France, they played the United States, they never saw those guys. They never saw Jordan in person or Barkley in person. They never saw those guys in person. They saw them on TV. They're watching them. Yeah. Now, all these guys have played against them. They're competing against them, sometimes beating them out. So, USA on your jersey and you're LeBron, I don't care anymore. I played against you for 10 games last year. I don't care. And that's another thing that the intimidation factor is non-existent anymore. Where it used to be, you put USA on your jersey, and all those other teams, even I think with Uganda or whatever, Charles Barkley could dunk on you and then push you, and you still want to get a picture with him after the game.
Yeah,
those days are gone.
Well, that's good. Okay, Coach, let's get into our final game here, and that is take it or leave it. So, going to give you some popular opinions that have been out there. And you're going to either take it or you're going to leave it.
Wait, let me stretch out a little bit.
Get yourself ready. Oh, nice Milwaukee Bucks shirt. I like that.
75 years, baby.
MEA, 75 years. That's awesome. Okay.
All right.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. Caitlin Clark should have been on the Olympic women's basketball team.
So take it means what?
you're taking the phrase. It's true. Take it's like true, leave it's like false.
Leave it.
Leave it.
At that point, in that point, a couple months ago, leave it.
Okay, Steph Curry, with his performance at the Olympics in front of the entire world and winning a gold medal, now makes him a top 10 player of all time. Take it or leave it.
Take it. That
Nice.
was the capital, right? MVP,
Yep.
MVP of the finals, MVP of the league.
4 championships.
4 championships over like 8 years or less than that.
Yeah.
That's
dominance.
almost Michael Jordan like, who won 6 over 8 or something like that. But
Yep.
yeah, I'll take that. It's hard for me because he's probably going to knock off an older player, maybe an Elgin Baylor or someone like that. But yeah,
Take it or leave it. Steve Kerr deserved the criticism that he received.
I'll leave it. I mean,
Now give me your answer.
it's so mind-boggling that all these people that know nothing about basketball really, well, Tatum was an All-Pro and Tatum won the championship. Yeah, of course he did. Yes. Guess what? There's 12 of those guys like that level on that team. So guess what? Somebody's not going to play. You can only play 9 guys in in an NBA game, let alone an international game. So somebody's going to have to sit. And and there was criticism for them taking Derek White, who was a perfect fit and helped them win the gold medal. But let's rewind then. So Steve Kerr, the head coach, and his staff, which is really good staff, they made the decision to wait on Kevin Durant till the medal rounds, and he scored 23 in the first half he played in. Brilliant. They choose not to give up on Steph Curry, even though he was shooting terrible, and Steph Curry was instrumental in them winning the gold. Brilliant. They were instrumental in having Embiid on that team, a big body, and when they played Serbia, the team they needed a big body on, they played him and he had 19 points or 17, whatever. It was a big factor. Brilliant. Those are all coaching staff and head coaching decisions that were brilliant, but everybody overlooks it because, well, you didn't play Tatum. Well, Halliburton didn't play. It's not his time, but someone's not going to play it. And for that chance, I mean, he picked Tatum was the odd man out. And part of that is because KD came through and in his first game back was incredible. Then we just talked about Booker, how Devin Booker, not only on offense, which he's a great player, but on defense was a stalwart. You're looking at one of the best players and best guards in the world. Holiday got limited minutes. So, I think Steve did a great job. His staff were unbelievable, and he's taken unbelievable criticism, and rightfully so. And if I was him, I would not coach again either because it's not worth it. But he made great decisions. Come on. And isn't the
I think he did too.
I mean, your idea is to win. Now, if he would have lost, all hell would have broke loose, right? But you know what?
That is true.
When you win, it fixes a lot of things and shuts up a lot of criticism.
Okay, take it or leave it. Team USA, if they had taken another player besides Jason Tatum, would not have received as much criticism.
Well, they would have received criticism for not taking him like Jaylen Brown. So, but if it was a different player that wasn't playing, like a Halliburton, I'd take that.
So who would you rather have taken instead of Jason Tatum? Who would have fit that team better?
The power forward for Denver that plays next to Joker.
Aaron Gordon?
Yep. So Aaron Gordon is
Really?
Aaron Gordon is a powerful, athletic big that doesn't need plays run for him. He's physical, he's tough, and he knows his role. Perfect fit. If you have all those players, you don't need more scoring, right? That's not your size, your defense, your rebounding, which they were poor in rebounding, right? That's what you need. You don't need more scoring. That's why I think taking Derek White over Jaylen Brown was a good decision because he fits in more with what they needed.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I like that. Okay, Coach, take it or leave it. Another team will win the gold in the next Olympics.
Well,
That's not Team USA.
If you put to me the bet that a lot of people do, right? So in golf, they say, take this player against the field or something like that. If you told me, okay, you can take USA to win the gold or the field, I would take the field. Let's put it that way.
Really?
I think they're going to because LeBron's not going to play. I don't think Curry's not going to play. A lot of these guys are aging out, and the players that are moving in, unfortunately, what they should do is all those young players, like if it's Ja Morant or Zion or any of those guys, they should put together their Olympic team for 2028 now, so they can play in international competition next year, play in the World Cup after that together, and get used to that competition. It's different. Refs are different. Game time is different. Rules are a little different. In my opinion, 2028 here in LA, in our country, the United States is going to struggle to win a medal.
Take it or leave it. And this is now not on the Olympic topic, but just some offseason news. Klay Thompson will be better for Dallas this year than he was for Golden State last year.
I'd take that. Maybe a little bit better. And the reason for that is now he fits in perfect with the Warriors system, right? He has for years. I mean, the guy scored 35 points in a quarter. The guy, scored 41 points with like 12 dribbles. But now, when you put him with the Dallas team, what did they lack? A couple of years ago, they lacked bigs. So they got Lively and some other guys. Now they're in the finals. Now what do they lack? Because they got two of the best ball handlers, passers, players in the league, in Luka and Kyrie. So what did they lack? They lacked a knockdown three-point shooter to spread the floor. Guess what Klay is? He's perfect. I mean, that's a front office award-winning decision to get him in that group, and he's used to doing it. He played with Curry and those guys, so he's used to playing off the ball and just taking a couple dribbles and shooting it and knocking down threes. I mean, but he was great and underrated for the Warriors all those years. So to say he's going to be a lot better, I can't say that. But is he going to be better now than last year? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Denver will now be back. Take it or leave it. Denver will now be back in championship contention with the addition of Russell Westbrook.
I think he helps a lot, but I think they're still very. They have a very short bench. They have a great starting five. Now that Westbrook has accepted his role of being not the main guy, because guess what? Murray and the Joker are the main guys, so you better realize that. I think he's now realized that. I don't think he realized that in the other places he was till this year with the Lakers. Even with the Clippers, he didn't realize that or accept that.
Yeah.
Now that he has, I think he makes Denver a lot better, but to put him back in the title contention, I'll leave that. I don't think they're there yet, especially with the competition in the West.
Yeah, Minnesota's going to be just as good. We might get a rematch of the finals from this year. Dallas, definitely improved their roster.
OKC added strength.
Hartenstein, right?
Yep. And then they added at the wing.
Alex Caruso.
Yep. So they added veterans, a big, to go with all their young talent. And guess what, Jesse? They still have like 10,001 first-round picks they can deal. So
yeah, that's true. They seem to have stocked up on like 150 in the next like 20 years.
But the moves they made, we need size to go with Holmgren. Chet's more of a power forward, so now we got size. Yeah, that doesn't need plays, and he does all the other stuff. And now you got the kid at the wing, Caruso, who's a hustler, and he's a veteran to add with that talent.
And great defensively, second team all defense.
Yeah,
last couple of years.
I think if you ask me, like Dallas and Minnesota and all these teams, I think OKC has a great shot at the West.
Okay, well then in the East. Do you think Mikal Bridges going to the New York City Knicks is going to close the gap between them and Boston?
I think it will close the gap, but the big thing that will close the gap is how Julius Randle fits in with everybody else, because they had very much success last year without him because he was hurt. And before he was hurt, he was the best player on the team. Brunson wasn't. Randall was. So now you got that dynamic. But if Randall can come back and be, fit in and understand that, the Knicks are right there with Boston, with Philly, and with my Bucks, hopefully, if they're healthy.
Take it or leave it. Paul George going to the 76ers was their missing piece.
If Embiid is healthy, I think they also picked up Drummond as a backup big again.
Yes.
That's been there, so he helps that. And with the way Maxey plays, and the way, I think that they were.
He just fills all the gaps in that team. I think between Maxey and Joel Embiid is my thought.
Takes the pressure off of them to have to score every night.
Yeah,
because he can go ahead and score 35 if he needs to, and he does all the other stuff. That puts them. That's a more important move than the Knicks move, I think, in the Eastern buildup of who's on top. Boston's still on top, but however, Porzingis is probably not coming back to Christmas, so they're going to struggle right off the bat. But the moves in Philly and New York put them up there, and Milwaukee's still in la-la land with Lillard and how he fits in and injuries.
Final, second to last, take it or leave it, actually. So the Warriors pick up forward Kyle Anderson. That'll help them out this year. Take it or leave it.
Help out, take it. Get them to the next level, leave it.
Leave it.
They don't have a big.
We don't have people above 6'9" on this squad, Coach. We don't like that.
And they're making a decision on the younger point guard,
Podziemski?
Yeah, they're making a decision not to trade him for Harkin in Utah, right?
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen. We could have had Lauri Markkanen, a 7-foot sniper from three.
Yeah, and he's physical. I mean, I don't know. I understand.
It's not like Steph is in his final 3 years of the league or anything.
Yeah, but I can understand you're looking at and this kid is a really good player. I saw him play this summer. Really good.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He could be our future.
Lauri Markkanen.
Oh my God.
We didn't even have to give up Kuminga.
Yeah, exactly. And you still have Higgins too.
Yeah.
So that would have filled that spot, right? And then Draymond could play. He doesn't have to play center anymore. He can play power forward or whatever. But I don't know. They have an affinity, and I've talked to I've given Steve a little crap for it, but you need a big guy, man.
It's not his. I don't think that's his call, though. I think at the end of the day, Joe Lacob's coming in and sort of starting to make a lot more of these decisions himself because apparently that trade was going to go. They were going to trade Brandon Podziemski for Lauri Markkanen, and the owner, Joe Lacob. The only way that gets stopped is if they're all in agreement, if the owner steps in and says, that's not what we're doing. So it's his money, so he has the final say.
Yeah. So I would say, what in the last years, what team has won the NBA championship without a legitimate big? You got the Joker. You got
us in 2022.
Yeah, you got Porzingis, who finally made Boston, got them over the hump because
they got Boston over the hump.
Yeah, and it put Horford to the backup position.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at, who you got to play, I don't understand that move. I
guess Lakers in 2020, the Bucks winning in 2021.
Yeah, Lopez and Giannis. Yeah, I mean, even like you look at the Lakers, they didn't have like this, but they have
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis and
he's
LeBron.
A monster.
LeBron's 6'9", brother. He's 280 pounds. He's a big.
But he plays like he's 6'13".
But he can guard everybody, and he's physical. So we've talked about this, Jesse, for a few years now. It's mind-boggling me, and that move right there, where you could get that,
where you could get the best shooting big in the entire league.
Mm-hmm. You're
for your point guard who, I was first team all rookie team, but doesn't shoot the three. And in fact, then it came out in the last couple of weeks that the organization is going to want him to start shooting 8 to 10 threes, something he has never done in his career, not at the college level, not even at the high school level.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a 7-footer that could, helps the Warriors spread the floor, but also is a rim protector.
Yeah, I'm looking at, what's the hardest player to get? What's harder to get in the NBA? A 7-foot player that can knock down threes and protect the rim, or a point guard? Hello? There's a million point
guards. You make it sound so easy, Coach.
It is.
Maybe you and I should own a team one day. How about that? If everything works out successfully for us, let's just own a team. I'll be the owner. You can be the general manager, and you can just make whatever moves you want.
The only stepping block is we got to get about $8 billion, but we'll work on that.
I'm working on that. We're both actually working on it. It's perfect. All right, Coach, final one for you. Take it or leave it. Domestically and internationally, the state of basketball is better now than it has ever been.
I mean, I think it's deteriorated here in the United States with AAU, with NIL, with transfer portal. The NBA game is getting weaker because you can't really play defense. You know, you get flagrant fouls for touching anybody. I think it's gotten weaker, but override in all the countries all over the world, like Serbia and France and Germany and, Spain, that overrides the improvement that those countries have made in their basketball level and their talent. Just look at the Olympics, overrides the deterioration that's happening here in our country, which is scary. So I take that.
Coach, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for dropping by, and hopefully I'll be seeing you very soon here.
Yeah, I got to get going because I got to start working on that $7 billion we got to get.
Eight.
Oh,
it
shoot.
costs just, isn't it like $1 million to even put in a bid for a team?
No, it's $10 million.
Oh, great. Okay, let's start working on that first.
Yeah, non-refundable too, by the way.
Good thing we have that sitting around in the bank right now.
That's a classic. Thanks for coming.
How much money you got under your mattress right now? Because I got about maybe $100.
Yeah, I got.
You can cover the rest. We can make it happen.
I got to go win a big jackpot, but.
I mean, you're in Vegas. Best place to do it. Coach, thanks so much for joining the sports scene. Appreciate you as always.
All right, man. Enjoyed it.